Leo, welcome to your astrology reading for the month of February. And so in the month of February, we have a lot of Aquarius energy. We do start to move into some Pisces energy, but Aquarius is really the majority of it. And so for you, this is actually going to impact your house of one-to-one relationships. But it's not just going to impact your house of one-to-one relationships. So the best idea is to really understand your sun, your moon, and your rising signs. And so your sun sign is how you express yourself. And so if Leo is your sun, listen to your rising sign as well, because your rising sign is how other people see you. And so there is a really close interaction between these two. And from a rising sign standpoint, that one is going to be more accurate than just listening to your sun sign. And then your moon sign is how you process everything emotionally. So it's always a good one to listen to kind of round out how the month is going to play out for you and really how you're going to process all of that information. And so right away, I'm going to get into all the Aquarius energy. And so leading into the month of February, we already had Pluto move into Aquarius. It's going to be here for roughly 20 years. We have the sun that is sitting in Aquarius, and now we're going to add Mercury into the mix. And so on the 5th at 12:10 in the morning Eastern time, so Pacific, night before. And so with Mercury entering into Aquarius, we'll have Mercury, Pluto, and the sun. Aquarius is the liberator. This is the rebel in the Zodiac. And so any kind of restrictions or limitations, you can expect them to come crumbling down. That is not okay with Pluto and Aquarius. This is transformation. This is really trying to understand what works and what doesn't work for you anymore. And then if it doesn't work, why hold on to it? Don't hold on to it for another second. Pluto and Aquarius will just remove it from your life. And so that energy is going to be here right away, because right away Mercury is going to be conjunct Pluto. And that means that the energy of these two is really going to intertwine. And so all of this liberation, all of this transformation is going to happen within your 7th house of one-to-one relationships. So one-to-one relationships, contracts, marriage, business partnerships, more marriage than anything else. And it's really indicative of a first marriage, but does it apply for second and subsequent marriages as well? So it's all of those long-term relationships where there is just this contract, essentially. Okay, so really thinking about Mercury as its information, its communication, its processing, all of that information. So this is going to give you a real understanding of what obstacles and barriers, what limitations have existed, or what structures have existed that really held you back from having the types of relationships that you want. This would be an opportunity for Pluto to remove those from your life because they just don't work for you anymore. They may have worked for you in the past, or maybe they never worked for you in the past. This is Pluto then removing those from your life and you understanding the reason why. Mercury is also going to be conjunct Mars. So Mars here is actually in the sign of Capricorn. So they're not even in the same sign, but they're close enough together that the energy is going to feel very blended. And so Mercury is sitting in your house of one-to-one relationships, your personal relationships. Mars is sitting in your 6th house of daily routines. And so 6th house, daily routines, as it relates to your 7th house here. And so what changes do you need to make in your daily life in order to have the type of relationships that you want? Like, do you need to make more time for your significant other? Do you need to make less time for your significant other? Do you need to set healthy boundaries when it comes to your daily routines, or some sort of structure here? Because that Capricorn energy is about structure with your daily routines. And so how does all of this play together? Because this is really what's being highlighted. You might have some innovative ideas on how to maybe improve the relationship by improving your daily routine. That would definitely be highlighted here. We'll have Mercury also square Jupiter in Taurus. And so for you, we've got Mercury in your one-to-one, your personal relationships. And then we have Jupiter sitting in your career. So your one-to-one relationships, this could be your business partnerships. This could be, they would be a one-to-one. It wouldn't be like you with all of your coworkers. It's not that type of energy. This would be like you and a boss, or like an investor, somebody along those lines. It would be you and one other person as it relates to Jupiter and Taurus. And so Jupiter and Taurus is a really positive energy here because Jupiter is all about expansion and growth, and Taurus is a very grounded, practical, longevity, let's focus on what we value long-term type of energy. And so even though this is in a square, Jupiter offsets that because Jupiter is just very positive. Whatever it touches, it's just very lucky. And so any kind of obstacles or challenges to expanding your career or improving your public reputation, they're going to be removed. But again, it's going to come down to communication. You're going to be communicating about it. There's going to be some sort of, I don't know why I'm getting contract, but there might be some sort of contract involved here. But there is going to be some sort of communication that involves you and another person as it relates to your career and maybe even your career path, your goals, all of those things. We'll also have Mercury sextile Neptune in Pisces. And so what's happening now is we have your personal relationships. We'll also have Neptune in Pisces sitting in your 8th house. Neptune in Pisces is the goals, it's dreams, it's what is it that you really, really want? Like think pie in the sky, what is it that you really want type of energy. That's sitting in your 8th house. The 8th house is transformation. So when it comes to how you want to behave, or maybe your role within your personal relationships, what is it that you're trying to change about that? Because that's the connection here between these two energies. It's about giving you this opportunity. It is an opportunity you're going to have to act on. It's a sextile. And so it's giving you an opportunity to change the way you are in your personal relationships. And so really keep that in mind. We'll have the new moon in Aquarius on the 9th, and so that's going to happen at 5:59 Eastern Time, so still the same day for Pacific Time Zone. But what we'll have is the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, and Pluto all in the sign of Aquarius, all sitting in your house of personal relationships. And so right away, we'll have the Moon and the Sun in a conjunction. They're going to be at the same degree point, and so the energy is going to be really blended together. And what that means is that you're going to have an easy time expressing yourself, expressing your emotions when it comes to relationships. So it could even be expressing yourself as to like what type of relationship or how you're processing this type of relationship, or maybe your emotions connected to this relationship. There's a lot here as far as expressing your emotions. We'll also have the Sun and the Moon square Uranus and Taurus. And so now again, we're going back to, because there's a couple different types of relationships highlighted here. With the Sun and the Moon in the 7th house, Uranus in your house of career. So this could be a business partnership again, and now we're looking at your career. This is a square energy, and so Uranus and Taurus is going to shake things up for you. It's very similar to that Pluto and Aquarius energy. Uranus doesn't like things that don't work. Uranus will remove anything from your path that is just blocking you from getting what you want. This square energy does indicate that there's going to be an obstacle or challenge, so it could be like a change in career. This could be a sudden change in career or a sudden change in position or something along those lines. This would be some sort of change, and it would happen pretty quickly. And it involves the way that you're expressing yourself, you're expressing your emotions, and then it results in some sort of change within your career and public reputation. We'll also have the Sun and the Moon trine the South Node in Libra. And so again, we're looking at your personal relationships. And now we've got the South Node in Libra. And so we are in the Aries Libra eclipse season. And so the South Node sitting in Libra, it's actually sitting in your 3rd house. So this is your 3rd house of communication. And what that means is we've got your personal relationships, so your Sun and your Moon. So you're expressing yourself within these relationships, what kind of relationships you're looking for. And now we've got the South Node sitting in Libra in your 3rd house. And so 3rd house is also communication. And so this is a really good energy. This is a trine. This is going to feel very easygoing. Any kind of harmony that you're trying to bring into your relationship, because Libra is about harmony. It is trying to bring things together, the Sun and the Moon. And so in your 7th house of personal relationships, this just indicates a very easy flow of communication between you and your significant other. And as far as like what you want, how you feel, all of those things. And so it's going to feel very natural here. That South Node energy is a very natural feeling energy. And it is about creating balance as well. We'll also have the Sun and the Moon sextile Chiron in Aries. And so again, we've got your personal relationships, and now we've got a sextile to Chiron in Aries. Chiron is the wounded healer. Aries is occupying your 9th house of expansion. And so 9th house would be not just expansion. So it's higher education, long distance travel. It would be your internal belief system, your own internal philosophy. It could even be religion if that is significant for you. And so what you're seeing here is there's an opportunity to maybe mend some of those things. Like, are there some, like maybe you have an unconventional relationship and that doesn't align with maybe your value system or your religion. And so this is giving you an opportunity to really kind of heal that piece of you that doesn't align with the type of relationships that you want. And so there is something significant about this, about healing that type of energy. It's also giving you the opportunity to expand the type of relationships that you want here too, because it may not be that you need to heal your value system or have that kind of conversation. It could be like, how do I make it all work together? How do I get my relationship? Like maybe you're Catholic and your significant other is atheist, and like, how does that work with your religious beliefs? And it's kind of that type of energy. How do you make everything kind of work together? You're being given an opportunity here. It is one that you're going to have to action in order to heal that chemistry, that alignment of planets, that conversation between them. Then on the 13th, we'll have Mars entering Aquarius. So this is going to happen at 1:05 in the morning, and so Pacific the night before. And so what's going to happen is we'll have Mars, Sun, and Pluto all in Aquarius, all sitting in your 7th house. So all in your personal relationship sector. We'll have Mars conjunct Venus. Venus is actually going to be in Capricorn. And so Mars is sitting in your house of personal relationships. So this is the actions that you're taking within your relationships as they relate to Venus. So Venus is relationships, but it's also what you value in your daily routines in the sign of Capricorn. So what kind of structures are you putting into place in your daily routines that maybe you want to action right now in order to create this synergy between the type of daily life that you want to have and the type of relationships that you want to have? And so really trying to figure out here, how do we make this work? Is this, I don't know, I'm getting this sense of like maybe moving in together or something along those lines. That could absolutely be highlighted here with that 7th house, 6th house. It's like, I want this structure with you. And so like, how do we make this happen? So that could be an instance. I don't know why I felt that one pretty strongly, but it makes sense in this kind of realm. We'll also have Mars square Jupiter in Taurus. And so again, your personal relationships, so the actions you're taking within your relationships as they relate to your career. And so it's kind of one of those things where you're making all of these changes. You're doing all of this really positive work within your personal relationships, but it doesn't just stop there. It's going to spill into other areas of your life. And so now you're being given an opportunity to really use that in your career as well. And so all of these changes that you're making, so this could again be business partnerships, or it could maybe even just be this kind of sense of confidence that you have, maybe this kind of rejuvenation of who you are, gaining confidence, and really bringing that into your career and public reputation. Because with this Jupiter and Taurus energy, it is about what you value. It is about bringing success and growth opportunities within your career. We'll also have Mars sextile Neptune in Pisces. And so again, we're talking about the actions you're taking within your personal relationships, now being given an opportunity to incorporate any kind of changes that you want to make here. Because Neptune in Pisces is about your dreams. It is about your just ultimate goals in this, within your relationships. That 8th house energy where Pisces is sitting is about transformation. So what changes do you want to make that will have a positive impact? I mean, I don't think anybody wants to have a negative impact on their personal relationships, but how do you grow your personal relationships? What actions do you want to take as they relate to this transformation? Because you're being given an opportunity here. And again, this is an opportunity. This is something that you would have to act on. It won't just happen to you. We also have Mars conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. And so really, again, any actions that you're taking, if they don't align with the goals that you've set for yourself or the direction that you want your relationships to go, then they're just not going to stay around. That liberating energy, that Pluto in Aquarius is going to say, yeah, no, that's not working. So we're just going to remove that from your life and, come up with a better plan. We'll make room for something else. You just have to come up with something else. And so just kind of keep that in mind. And then a couple of days after Mars enters Aquarius, we actually have Venus entering Aquarius. So this is going to happen on the 16th at 8:05 in the morning. And so we'll have Pluto, Mars, Venus, the Sun, and Mercury all in Aquarius. That's a lot of planets all in one sign, all in this liberating sign, this let's tear down structures type of zodiac sign. all sitting in your personal relationships. And so right away, we'll have Venus semi-sextile the sun. And so this is not going to be a major friction by any means, but if you might feel some sort of friction, it's going to be a fleeting type of feeling where you're having a hard time communicating, expressing yourself when it comes to relationships and what you want, what you value. It's really not going to stick around. It's a very kind of, I want to say low impact type of friction. It's really not going to be that major. We'll have Venus trine the moon in Taurus. So here we go with your personal relationships and your career again. And so because Venus is in the mix, so there's two benefic planets, it's Jupiter and it's Venus. And so Venus trine the moon in Taurus. Moon in Taurus is about your emotions, how you're processing everything as it relates to your career. And so now we're talking about what you value within your personal relationships and incorporating that in your career. And so this is really about improving your career, your public reputation, your standing within your workplace, all of these things. It's a really positive highlight here for you, especially with that 10th house energy. We will have Venus conjunct Mars. And so where they were in separate signs, now they're in the same sign, so they're both in your 7th house of personal relationships. And so what you're doing here is all the actions that you're going to take. So Mars sitting in this Aquarius energy, liberating action. Venus in Aquarius, it's okay, I want something that's different. I want to move in a different direction. And Mars says, I hear you, let's go. And so all the actions that you're going to take are to move you in a different direction, but it does align with what you want. It aligns with what you value when it comes to your personal relationships. We will have this Venus conjunct Pluto. So anything that you're trying to do here, anything that just doesn't fit in with the goals that you've set for yourself, the path that you're trying to go down, it will be removed. This is going to be very transformational. We will have Venus square Jupiter in Taurus. And so again, Venus in the mix. So again, what you value and what you want as far as your career. And so we do have a lot of Taurus energy, a lot of career energy being highlighted here. So there's a couple of things happening for you. You've got your personal relationships, maybe your significant other. And so there's going to be a lot of improvement in that respect. But then there's also going to be this improvement within your community, also within your work. You're being given opportunities to improve both of those types of relationships as well, and as well as your public reputation in your career. And so what's happening here is Venus square Jupiter in Taurus. Again, you're just being given more chance to expand who you are, maybe expand your role within your career, because that Jupiter energy does want you to focus on what you value. And that 7th house, so what kind of relationships do you want in your career? How do you better those relationships? What kind of growth opportunities does that present for you? Because you will have Venus sextile the Neptune in Pisces. And so the Neptune in Pisces, again, Venus is sitting in your house of personal relationships. We'll have Neptune in Pisces. That is about your dreams. That is transformation. So what changes are you making in order to move yourself forward? So it is this kind of contemplation in order for you to activate something. And so what changes do you want to make? Because this is one that is going to require you to take some action. With the sun entering Pisces on the 18th, so now we're getting into another type of energy here. We've spent a lot of time on Aquarius. We're now adding more Pisces into the mix. And so the sun, Saturn, and Neptune are all going to be in Pisces. Pisces is sitting in your house of transformation. So this is death and rebirth. This is power and control issues, maybe intimacy. This is other people's money. And so this would be maybe an inheritance is also highlighted, debt. All of these things are 8th house themes. And so right away, I see the sun is going to be trine moon in Cancer. And so for you, obviously the sun is sitting in your 8th house, that transformative house. The moon is in its home sign of Cancer. That is sitting in your 12th house. And so this would be the subconscious. This is really you unknowingly processing your emotions. And so this transformation that's taking place, there is a very strong internal processing of this information. It is about aligning what you want, because that's what your emotions are. They're really kind of geared to that's the lens that you're looking at. Like, do I want this? Do I not want this? And using that transformation, kind of understanding what is happening here and how do you make it work for you? Because that Pisces energy is about your dreams. And so there might be some changes that need to happen internally in order for you to go after your dreams. Like, have you always told yourself that you weren't capable of doing something or that you weren't good enough for something? That would be something that needs to change here with that 8th house energy. Did somebody always tell you that? That would be a power and control issue. That is also 8th house energy. And so something here needs to change in order for you to be able to go after what you want. But with this moon in Cancer, you're actually being supported to go in that direction. There's a lot of encouragement happening here. We'll have the sun conjunct Mercury in Aquarius. And so we've got 8th house and we've got 7th house here. And so we've got this house of transformation now as it relates to Mercury in Aquarius in your personal relationships. And so expressing what changes you need to take place or what you want to take place as it relates to Mercury in Aquarius. And so Mercury in Aquarius is saying, okay, yeah, I'm going to make these changes for you, but I need you to understand why. And so that's the energy. This is kind of that back and forth communication that's happening here. We'll have the sun conjunct Saturn. So again, all sitting in your house of transformation. The sun, that self-expression. Saturn is the workhorse. I mean, this is about structure. This is about coming up with that long-term plan. What are those long-term goals? You are sitting in this house of transformation, but in the sign of your dreams, in this Pisces energy. And so what changes, what is it you're trying to do? What structure are you trying to put into place in order to go after your dreams? Because you did break down a lot of your existing structures. They just weren't working for you. And so now you have the opportunity to replace it with something else, something that is in alignment with what you're trying to do. And so now you have this opportunity to really go in that direction. There will be a little bit of friction here with the sun semi-sextile Pluto in Aquarius. And so again, we've got your 8th house. So this is that house of transformation. We've got Pluto in Aquarius, more transformation, but liberation more than anything else. And so there might be a little bit of friction here if you're not very clear on the direction that you're trying to go, because this Pluto and Aquarius energy is going to try and remove things from your life that it doesn't think you need. You just need to be clear on what it is that you need. And so that's where this friction is coming into play. Mercury then enters Pisces on the 23rd. So that's going to happen at 2:39 in the morning. If you're in the Pacific time zone, it's going to happen just before midnight. And so again, this is all going to be in your 8th house. We'll have Mercury, Sun, Saturn, and Neptune all in Pisces right away. Mercury is going to be conjunct the sun. And so this is about expressing your dreams. This is about expressing the type of transformation you want to see. And this is going to be in regards to all of the 8th house topics. So is it intimacy? Is it this death and rebirth? Are you reinventing yourself? What is it in this 8th house that you're trying to change? Because now you're being given this opportunity to express exactly what it is that you want, what you need, that sun energy. We'll have Mercury opposite the moon in Leo. And so during this whole transformation, the moon will be sitting in Leo, which is in your 1st house. And so this is you. This is who you are. This is your physical body. So we've talked a little bit about your subconscious and things that need to change internally for you. Now we're talking about things that need to change externally for you. And so really your physical body. With Mercury opposite the moon, all of these changes that you're making do require you to do something to yourself physically. This moon in Leo, let me start there. So the moon in Leo is a creative expression of self, but there's something at odds with the direction that you're going, this Mercury energy, this new path that you're forging for yourself, the understanding of why old paradigms just don't work for you anymore, and your authentic self and who you see yourself being when it comes to your long-term plans, when it comes to the goals that you've set. There's something at odds here with the path that you're going down and who you are currently. There does need to be some modification. So it's an internal and an external modification that needs to take place. We'll have Mercury conjunct Saturn. So this is going to be in your 8th house again. And so Saturn, so Mercury, Saturn, the energy is going to be intertwined. And so this is going to be processing this new goal, this new path that you've set for yourself, really understanding the why behind it. Does it make sense for me? You will be given an opportunity here to make a little bit of adjustments if you need to, because Mercury is going to be semi-sextile Pluto and Aquarius. So there might be a little bit of friction if some of the structure that you're putting into place with that Saturn energy just doesn't fit with the direction that you're going. And so Pluto and Aquarius is going to try and remove that from your life. Whether you like it or not, it's going to try and do it, but it's really about keeping you on your path. It's not meant to be a negative by any means. And then at the end of the month, we'll have the full moon in Virgo. So that's going to happen on the 24th at 7:30 in the morning. And so for you, the moon in Virgo is going to be in your second house. And then we have Pisces, which is in your 8th house. And so now we're talking a lot about finances here. So the second house is about your personal finances. This would be money you already have, like your savings account, your checking account, any kind of investments you currently have versus outside money. So that 8th house energy would be the money that you earn at work. This could be an inheritance. It would be something debt. So there's this kind of push-pull over the two, and so maybe there's something with your spending habits that needs to change. There could be something here with maybe I'm just trying to think of, like, you're always saving for a rainy day, that you're never letting yourself actually live your life. There's something here about the way your relationship with money. There's something about your relationship with money that needs to be modified here. There's something that doesn't align when you think about these long-term plans that you have for yourself. So 8th house in Pisces, so this transformation that's trying to take place, this connection maybe to other people's money, what is it you're trying to do here, and how have you been holding yourself back when it comes to your own personal finances, or even just your own values? Like, what is it that's holding you back from that perspective? Because this is a full moon, so there is something here that does need to be released during this time. And so what is it about this relationship with money that needs to change? Could be spending habits, easily could be spending habits. We'll also have the moon opposite Mercury in Pisces. So again, more of that 8th house Pisces energy. We'll have Mercury in the mix. So communication, processing of information. So this is not just something needs to change here. This is about understanding the why, and maybe having that conversation on why you're not going to be spending that way, or maybe you're not giving money to a specific person or whatever it is anymore. It's that type of energy. We'll have the moon trine Jupiter in Taurus. And so now we're looking at your house of personal finances in a pretty easy conjunction, or not conjunction, it's a trine, but it's going to feel a little bit stronger than that because it is a trine, but it's Jupiter. And Jupiter is all about expansion and growth and everything like that. So Jupiter is in Taurus. That's sitting in your career. And so there's something connected with your personal finances and your career. Jupiter in Taurus is about expanding. So there's something about expanding in your career, and it's going to have an impact on your personal finances or the things that you value. I don't know why I'm getting even a company car, something like that. You might be given an opportunity to maybe start using a company car, and there would be no need for you to pay for a car. There would be no need for a car payment anymore because you can use the company car. And so that was just one example that just popped into my mind. And that would take place during this whole full moon because there's obviously 8th house and 10th house energy happening here. Moon opposite Saturn in Pisces. And so what's happening here is we've got your personal finances again, and we're looking at other people's money again. And so the Saturn in Pisces literally is about working towards your dreams, working towards your goals, working towards maybe an increase in income here. And that increase in income can come in many ways. It doesn't have to be that straight, here's your percent raise for the year or your dollar raise for the year. It could be about maybe some of these perks, like getting that company car or not having to pay for your home internet or something along those lines. And so there's something about working and it just the way that that's impacting your personal finances, because there is, again, this is an opposite energy. So there's that push-pull that's taking place where you're going to need to take a hard look at your finances and your relationship with money, and how does that relate to your growth within your career, because that's really what's highlighted. Wow. So Leo, I love doing the one-to-one, like the personal relationship readings, because I always think they're so fascinating, and yours is really amazing. So I hope this resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.